What's going on, everybody? Patrick Garcia here with another video blog. First off, I'd like to thank Jason Avestro for letting me shoot in this wonderful home and this wonderful seat. Thanks out to you for the nice furniture. So today I wanted to talk about a subject called failure. And I know, judging by the title, it says like, I hope you fail spectacularly. And that's not a personal shot at anybody, but a catchy title is always, catches people's attention. I guess that's why it's catchy. But talking about failure, it's common knowledge that when people generally go through failure, they learn. And, we learn through our mistakes, and we learn through our shortcomings, and everybody knows this. This is very common knowledge. But to just delve deeper into what happens when you fail and how can you learn from it, that's kind of like what I'd like to do. So a couple slogans or phrases that I like to remember are: there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. And there's no such thing as losing, only learning. So those are the kind of things that I like to remember that keep me going. Another thing I like to talk about failure is how we essentially take failure. Now, when I was heavily into studying the pickup arts and game and stuff, one of the things I learned from one of my mentors, Owen, RSD Tyler, is that when you go through something and you fail at it, and this is like going through all kinds of other boundaries and stuff and other areas in your life, try not to be so much in a reactionary state of mind. He calls this thing being proactive. And I've talked about this in a lot of my other videos, but I'd really like to center it here because I think being proactive instead of reactive, that applies a lot to failure in our lives. So when we fail, what does it mean to be reactive? Well, to be reactive to failure could mean a lot of things, but primarily I think it relates mostly to trauma and creating an anxiety for yourself. So when people fail, let's say you fail in a relationship, your girlfriend breaks up with you, maybe you could throw on a CD of Linkin Park and trash your room and punch your walls. There were a couple times when I was pissed at my dad, and I would do push-ups in my room. I would lift weights, and I'd punch my pillows too. That stuff is helpful to an extent, because when you're trying to train or when you're trying to inspire yourself, sometimes the body needs to be shocked. But in the long run, it's not so much healthy for your mind. So I like to talk about being proactive. Now, what does proactive mean? Proactive means acknowledging the failure, but moving forward. So acknowledging that, yes, I did fuck up, but what is the next step? So recognizing that there is a problem, and like what I was taught in martial arts, administer a solution. So those are the kind of things that I'm trying to think about. And it's hard. It really is. I think the hardest thing about it is when you're surrounded by people that you love and they kind of try to advise you that you are headed towards failure, even if it's something that you want to do. If it's a life and death situation, I would definitely, if one of my friends wants to drive drunk recklessly, and see how straight he can drive, I would definitely intervene and advise that person to don't do it. But I'm talking more along the lines of life choices. Like if somebody wants to, let's say divorce their wife and start a rock band. I wouldn't agree with what that person is trying to do. But judging by the length of our relationship, if I've known that person for a long time, this is kind of iffy, but me personally, I would respect that person's decision. If that person is headed towards failure, it's for them to know. So there's a lot of choices that I would like to make in my life, and I'm being advised that I might be headed towards failure, or there's something that I need to do before I get to this point that I essentially want to be at. And I might fail at it, but that's for me to find out. That's my choice to go out and do this thing. So, I could go out there and fail and come crying back home into the arms of the people that advised me not to do this thing. But when I'm going to try to make it really hard that doesn't happen, but if that day comes, hey, it's their choice to be like, yo, we told you not to do it, but you did. So, I told you so, and go fuck yourself. But I hope that day doesn't come. But if it does, I'll deal with it then. But right now, I feel that I want to do things that I'm passionate about. I want to do things that stimulate my mind. And there are a couple steps that people say that I need to do in order to get there. Maybe there's there's a lot of disagreement there on my behalf, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But that's for me to find out. That's my choice. That's something that I have to go through myself. So before I start getting too personal and start wilding out, I just want to say, to reiterate, be more proactive to your failures in life and not so much reactive. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback, and there's no such thing as losing, only learning. So with that said, this is Pat Garcia. Be legendary.